Good evening. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another Track Titan community race stream. And, well, this is going to be interesting, isn't it? It's the Red Bull X2010 at Nordschleife. Let's see how this one goes. I'm expecting chaos. I'm going to come out and say it. I'm expecting chaos. And unfortunately, it's round Green Hell. Here in the Nürburg Hills, over 20 kilometers of track, 154 corners. Which is ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. These drivers are going to be on the limit all night long. Joining me today is no one. I'm on me Jack Jones once again. I've been chumped by Spitzlam and Tom, and I didn't have the foresight to get someone else in. So here I am, trying to make sense of this chaos on me Jones. And, well, I hope you can all join me in this journey through what will surely be my personal descent into madness. As you can see on the screen, this is the Red Bull X2010 S1, I think it's a hypothetical prototype car developed by Red Bull, Adrian Newey. And naturally, if anyone in real life were to drive this, they would probably die. However, fortunately, that can happen in this sim racing world. And so here we are at Green Hell in this wonderful car. And it's going to be an interesting one, no doubt about it. We're watching Ryan Skywalker fly around the track here. And let's pop some name tags on to help us make sense of who on earth we're even looking at. Alexander Gray and Michelle Rodriguez have taken a spin on their outlap. Michelle Rodriguez, before the race, we were having a chat in Discord. Michelle Rodriguez was complaining that he was struggling with the car. And the takeaway we have from that is, Michelle Rodriguez, you need to practice more. Because as it's become well known, Michelle Rodriguez decides that he doesn't need to practice anymore and just runs into these things headlong. Hello, Mako. Good to see you in the chat. Hopefully you enjoy my descent into madness after work. It will be that. It will be that indeed. Let's whack the map on the screen so we can try and figure out where we are even on the circuit. That's the track descriptions up there in the top left. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the track map. And that is no help at all. So Ryan Skywalker is somewhere on the circuit, and I have to can only apologise because I don't know Nordschleife that well. It's never been one that I've fully got to grips with. So we'll just see what the drivers can do. Because if I was on track right now, I would not be doing much better. Coming round. Ooh, I know that corner. Hang on. Hang on, ladies and gentlemen. We're nearly... Oh, let me get a picture up of the track map. This is like next level commentary. I believe we are on the main straight now. Is this correct? No, it's not. Kesselton. I'm going to be coming into the carousel shortly. I believe, if my calculations are correct, we should be coming around towards it shortly. I'll try and figure out... No, we're not. That was the main straight. We're back onto the start of the lap. So here we are with Ryan Skywalker. Let's go on board as he is heading down the hill into Hatzenbach. Round the right-hander here. You got a fast left-hander and then into a short left-right kink. Up the hill once again. And, well, is it even worth commentating on these corners? We're going left, we're going right, we're going left, we're right again. You know how a track works. Down the straight here into Hockenhagen. Hockenhagen. If there's any Germans in chat, do please feel free to flame me. Hi, Spitzlam. Good to see you in chat. You've left me out to dry here, mate. As we see Ryan go up towards Arenberg corner. Spitzlam, you've left me out to dry. I don't know what I'm doing. Nordschleife is chaos. This is going to be chaos. Down the hill once again into the right, and then you got a left-hander and then a slightly sharper left-right kink, and you got this little almost minor chicane here in the middle of the circuit. Very hard to see that one as you go over the hill, especially in such a low-down car like this. To give you some insight on how long and low down this car is, some of the drivers are complaining that they couldn't actually go round the carousel because the car is so long and low that it just acts like a curve. Chaos. Anyway, here we are coming through Nordschleife. Tight left-hander here, round a right-hander, feeding the throttle back in and powering down the straight once again to braking into X2010. Round the left-hander, up the hill, round the right-hander, and then powering on a short mini-straight before a left-hand kick before burglar. Braking once again, coming around this corner, surrounded by trees left and right. Down the hill of Kesselken. Sorry, down the straight of Kesselken. Nearly straight. This is about as straight as they come here in Nürburgring, really, isn't it? And you got a right-hand kick into a long left-hander coming up now. Round, full top gear, 390 kilometers an hour. This car is ballistic. Through, back on yourself, and then coming round into the carousel. And as you can see, the driver's having to take the top line, because if you get on that inside line, the famous carousel, you just end up bottoming out. Hopefully Switzerland can join soon. Hopefully, it'd be good to have you back in. Through, I don't think I'm going to try and bounce that one. And then down through the winding hills of the Nordschleife once again. Ryan giving us a fantastic blistering lap here on the Nordschleife. He hasn't missed a beat. Well, here or there, I suppose there's only so much you can do on a 3-minute lap in a car like this. But as it does come around the ice curve here, down the hill into Pinsgarden, I believe I've already lost where I am on the circuit. But we're coming around to the end of the lap here, and Ryan Skywalker currently is lapping at a very decent rate indeed. The only person who's put in a faster lap time than Ryan so far is Max Nuke 7, who put in a faster first sector by 0.3 of a second. So despite the long lap here, despite the 3.5-minute lap that we're expecting to see, these drivers still locked at the horns and we're coming to blast down the back straight of the circuit here. Beautiful stuff from Ryan Skywalker as he comes, what's this bit of the circuit called? The Dottinger Straight. I think. Into the last section of the circuit here. Ryan Skywalker on his flying lap as he is. He's definitely going to have the fastest lap time because he's the first to cross the line. And he does cross the line indeed with a 3-minute 53.484. And that's not a bad lap time at all. That's certainly one that can potentially be improved on if any of the drivers can get their laps linked up. We'll look back at Alexander Gray. He's coming around the back end of the circuit and back to Ryan Skywalker, and we'll look back through the drivers as they cross the line. Dennis Bosman puts in a lap time of a 4-minute dead. Henry Comsey put in a lap time of a 4-minute 14. Diogo Teixeira still in the pits. That's because Henry Comsey hasn't put in a valid lap. He came out of the pits. So we got Max Newt 7 followed closely by Henry Comsey coming down the Dottinger Straight now. Through the final section of track, down the hill, up the hill, round the right-hander, the tight right-hander, just before the finish line. And Max 7 comes into the pits. He's not happy with his lap time, so he's going to retire from this lap, and probably from the qualifying altogether, as Henry Comsey puts in the lap time of a 4-minute 45. So he must have had a spin on his lap round, and his actual out lap is his faster lap indeed. Michelle Rodriguez puts in a lap time of 4 minutes 16, but that's not going to be valid. As well as like comes across the line, he puts in a lap time of 4 minutes 16 as well, and that is going to be valid this time around. So that puts him up into 3rd position. I don't know why. Because Henry Comsey's 4-minute 14 lap was disallowed for off limits. Keith Holt, here he is, coming around the final part of the circuit in the Ferrari liveried Red Bull. Seems like a bit of an oxymoron there. He comes across the line, puts in a lap time of a 4:55. That's not going to be valid either. So these drivers are all going to have to settle for their times because the finish flag waits for no one. And as they cross the line, they will be setting off the timer. Now the finish flag does fall. Checkered flag, excuse me, does fall. All the drivers now have roughly 2 minutes to complete a lap. So realistically, out on track, who can complete one more lap? It looks like it's going to be just Dennis Bosman. He's going around the middle part of the circuit here, up towards the top of the track. You got a left, right indeed, and then back around, powering up the hill towards the carousel. Spitzlam is alive. He's in the comms box, and he's come to save me. This is incredible. I feel like I have been rescued. This is the most challenging thing ever. I don't know the Nordschleife, and this is going to be chaos. Hey, look, I absolutely rate the dedication, but you know what? You're gonna be here exclusively to help me with these German names, because I am lost. I'm lost on the circuit. I'm lost on where the drivers are. Dennis Bosman is at the back part of the circuit, but I have no idea what this part of the track's called. Kleines Carousel? Right. That's... Yes, thanks, joining us, Spitzlam. You've come to save me, and it's very appreciated. We'll see how this one goes, both in racing sense and in track sense. Dennis Bosman flying down the straight here. I'll let Spitzlam gain his breath back whilst we watch Dennis Bosman finish qualifying. Oh, and Dennis Bosman doesn't get to complete a lap. Qualifying finishes before it's over. And that's devastating for Dennis Bosman. I really thought he was going to be able to finish a lap. But no, never mind. Never mind. It's time to race. This will be interesting. We've got a total of 10 drivers on the grid lining up, and only 5 of them put in a valid lap time, which automatically puts them to the front. Ryan Skywalker, of course, topping the leaderboard with that flying lap we were on board for. Dennis Bosman lines up alongside him. Smells Like Wheat behind him. And actually, no, I think there was only 3 that managed to make a valid lap time. So, just goes to show how easy it is to race this circuit in this car. These drivers are going to have no problem at all. We turned off damage for this one. We normally have damage on for the drivers, but thanks to special request, given the chaos of this track and car combination, we've turned it off. Honestly, it sounds fine to me. It sounds fine to me. I won't worry. You know, there's one thing you do need to worry about, Spitzlam, now, and it's the one thing I'm going to come to you for, and I'm glad you're here for. Who, actually, in the first corner is about 2 meters away from the start line. So, by the first short straight, who's going to be ahead? Keith Holt. He's going to come from where? He's going to come from 4th? Very interesting. We'll see how that one goes for him. I've got full faith, actually. Full faith. You can see the drivers flashing in behind him, trying to get in his head. Ryan Skywalker's car is lighting up in the aptly very green livery here at Green Hell. Let's see how this one goes. 6 red lights are on for the drivers. Ryan Skywalker starting from pole position. Dennis Bosman alongside. The 6 red lights go out, and Ryan Skywalker gets a blistering start there around the first corner before you could even say go. Smells Like Wheat getting off very well just behind him. Michelle Rodriguez battling with Dennis Bosman. Dennis Bosman's dropping right down there. Max 270 is in the wall. Henry Comsey moves to on him. Alexander Gray moves to on him. Max 270 slots in behind a lot of them in 6th position. Dennis Bosman has tumbled all the way from 2nd down to 7th position, and behind him is Diogo Texera. It smells like we that's in the wall coming down the hill, and there's three drivers going at it, and who's that round? That's Alexander Gray in the wall. It's hilarious watching these cars. It's like watching it in 2 times speed, isn't it? well, he's got it off to a good start by going into a wall before the first sector's even finished. So Smells Like Weed circulating in 5th position, Henry Comsey in 4th. Michelle Rodriguez rejoining the circuit very slowly. Smells Like Weed taking a tumble. What on earth is everyone doing here? Very interesting stuff from these 4 drivers from 5th down to 8th there. Up at the front of the pack, Ryan Skowka has got a 5-second lead ahead of Max Suit 7. Henry Comsey in 3rd, Alexander Gray in 4th, and, well, let's watch this 5-car battle from 5th all the way down to 9th. And, well, your commentator's curse, Fitzland, was not successful. Michelle Rodriguez dropping down the order. 2 different drivers going into the wall in the same corner there, Alex Heller and Michelle Rodriguez in turn. I feel like today is just going to be out watching for the crashes. Oh, what's this going on here? Max 7 closing up the gap to Ryan Skywalker. That gap's come down from 5 seconds to 1. Alex Heller is in the wall. Le Bandit doing spinny spins in the McLaren liveried Red Bull. Once again, a bit of an oxymoron. You know what? You know, I'm sure he'll live. I'm sure he'll live, don't worry. 5 seconds are relative with these cars, says Val. Yeah, to be fair, that's very true. I think 5 seconds is within sending range in these cars, isn't it? That's one braking zone. Ooh, Keith Holt and Michelle Rodriguez. Oh, Keith Holt and Michelle Rodriguez look to have come together. Whereabouts is that on the circuit? That is up at just before the carousel. And Dennis spins in sympathy. Oh, Diogo Teixeira moves through on the 3 of them. Now catching up to Keith Holt through the carousel. He got away with that very lightly, didn't he? It's not the circuit's tyre. Yeah, it is. There's no damage in these cars today. No damage in these cars today for the sake of... Max is up into 1st position. There you go. Well, I said before that 5 seconds was within a braking zone, and Henry Comsey even has caught to the back of Ryan Skywalker. What on earth is happening to Ryan? He's really dropped the pace, hasn't he? I'm not sure how. These cars are ballistic. Absolutely ballistic. That could be one of the votes in the future, to be fair. Of course, all the votes, all the tracks and cars are voted for. Henry Comsey into the pits. Ryan Skywalker limping around the final few corners. Maybe he missed a pit entrance and wanted to pit himself. The thing is, damage is turned off on this server today. However, I'm now doubting whether it is, because a lot of these drivers seem to be struggling a lot more than expected. Max 7 isn't struggling. No, we turned it off just before the race started. So we'll do a quick double check. Alex just retired to the pits straight up, didn't he there? That's very interesting. Not sure what his plan is there. Nonetheless, yeah, that moves Michelle Rodriguez up into 9th position, and Dennis Bosman is now catching up to Diogo Teixeira in 7th. Yeah, damage should be off. It's set to off on the server settings, so we'll see if that will affect the drivers at all, or why the drivers are going to the pits. I don't know. We will find out at some point, I'm sure. Oh, I'll tell you what I can hear. You know what I've realised? I've been talking to no one on the stream because Spitzlam's audio has not been turned on for this entire half race. Welcome to the stream, Spitzlam. I've been talking one-sided for the last 5 minutes, but now I'm caught up on YouTube. This is Spitzlam, everyone. He's joined me on the stream to save me. And
hello, guys.
He's gonna actually commentate now. Sorry about that, Spitzlam.
Oh, it's fine.
A severe oversight for the fact that I started this stream alone.
Alex actually did DNF.
Very interesting. Alex Heller there, disconnected from the server. I guess he's fed up of the car, fed up of the circuit. This is a very tricky one to master. But
That's
well,
why it should have
some
been
of the
Indianapolis.
drivers, well, that could be a future option, to be fair. Let's take a look at the front of the pack, because that gap at the lead has come down underneath the second once again. And we did say that 5 seconds was within sending range. 1 second, definitely within braking range. Half a second, surely this overtake is going to be coming soon, or at least tears. These two drivers now, toe-to-toe they are. Ryan Skywalker and Max Newt 7 coming round the final few parts of the circuit, really, in the big long downhill before the straight. We'll see if Ryan lines up a move down the straight, or if he just makes a send into one of these corners. But as everyone will know, the Nordschleife is notoriously hard to overtake on.
Ooh, tell me. DCRs and GT3s, 24 hours of Nürburgring. Oh, wait, that's Max Newt Inter. Wait, what?
I think it might be a bit of rubber banding going on.
Yeah, because I'm not on the best Wi-Fi. Let's be real. I'm on a hotel Wi-Fi, so.
Oh,
Let's be
Max into the
real.
wall though. He actually is
Wait,
into the wall
it
this
is.
time round. Yep, he got a little bit of oversteer here, coming in towards Kleiner Carousel, and he went into the wall, and that's dropped him down into second position behind Ryan Skywalker. So that's a bit of drama up at the front of the pack, isn't it?
Oh, definitely is. I cursed Max. I'm so sorry, Max.
Hey,
I didn't
look,
want
things,
that.
These things happen, and it's all fair in racing. Down the big long straight, the look at the sun
Wait, that
setting
smells like
on
me
these.
maybe having a mistake. Maybe he crashed into the wall because Dennis Bosman and Michel Rodriguez got in front of him.
Oh,
So I'm not
smells
sure what
like
happened there.
Dropping down 2 positions there, that is a shame. Spitslam, you can't see this, but
What?
it smells like we has a livery of a shoe. Max Newt 7's into the pits. Max Newt 7 has come into the pits at the end of the lap.
Second lap.
He's gonna rejoin just behind Alexander Gray, potentially behind even Henry Comsey in 4th position. He is. Henry Comsey comes out and in front of Max Newt 7, so that's a bit of drama for the Finnish driver there. Valley 07, why do you choose the track with these cars? You tell me, mate. You tell me. So
Okay,
the
I'm
track and
blind.
car combination is decided by the community every week over at app.tracktitan.io/vote. The community can vote on what combination they want. They've got a choice of 3 cars. This week was Fantasy Week. We had 3 fantasy cars: Dallara, FX17 at Laguna Seca. We had a Flintstones car at Maggione. And we had this car at Nürburgring. And the community, in their ultimate wisdom, decided that this is the best car track combination, which makes it very difficult for me to commentate on because I haven't got a clue where Nordschleife goes. And this is why Spitslam is my lifesaver, because you at least have an idea. You've raced here, haven't you?
Yeah, I raced 24 hours here and I am learning German, so the lifesaver. And that's Max Newt spinning.
That is Max Newt spinning. Yes, indeed it is. Max Newt was spun there just on the exit of, whereabouts was that on the circuit? Trying to work it out here.
Before
Metzgersfeld. Yeah.
Before.
So very interesting stuff from Max Newt 7 there. He must be well, I say he must be struggling. I think every driver's struggling with this car and this track combination. This is ridiculously fast, ridiculously tight, ridiculously twisty. Ridiculous being the common word here.
It's a ridiculous car as well. The slipstream. For fun, I did 10 cars, these on the Indianapolis. The biggest race, the biggest slipstream I have ever seen. Amazing.
I think they've got a drag coefficient of 0. What you didn't see on screen there, just as you were talking, was Henry Comsey got himself past Alexander Gray for 2nd position. So the Finnish driver up into 2nd and looking to take home a big haul of points this first race. And I'd say getting ready for the 2nd race, which is of course reverse grid. However, on this circuit, does the reverse grid matter?
Ooh.
Open question.
Maybe. Depends. Definitely depends on the drivers, but maybe it can create an interesting race, but if there will be a lot of crashes at turn 1, then, or like the first couple of corners, then I think it will be the same result. Maybe.
Yeah, potentially. We'll see how the drivers manage to fare in the 2nd race. Coming up, after this one.
But
and
Max
we're gonna
Newt
have a
is chasing
long
Alexander
time.
Gray, and Alexander Gray in the wall. That's not really good to be in the wall. And in another wall,
Oof.
are you sure that damage is off?
Let's jump on board with Alexander Gray, see if his car is driving normally.
Because now maybe it's the tires, the super softs, going off a little bit.
There is tyre wear on for these drivers, so they're going to have to be aware of that. The tyres could be falling off as they're driving, which is a very interesting point to make. I don't think we've seen Ryan Skywalker go into the pits yet. So let's jump on board with Ryan Skywalker and see how his car's driving. Well, he is going down the straight right now, so his car is going to be driving straight as an arrow, as you would expect. But he's going to come to the end of the straight in a minute, and we'll see how he fares on the braking. Round the final few corners, seemingly fine for Ryan Skywalker. So I'm not sure what a lot of the drivers are struggling with here, but whatever it is, Ryan Skywalker surely isn't dealing with it at all. Henry Comsey is 8 seconds off the back of Ryan Skywalker.
That's weird.
I'd love to have a replay for you, Valio 7. However,
What?
hardware
It's
limitations.
in the wall. Gil has
Keith in the
spun
wall.
the Esbach. Esbach. These names.
These German
That's
names are
hell.
testing us all. They're testing us all. They're really putting the name Green Hell to use. Yeah, Valio said I'd love to have a replay at the start. However, the replays, well, hardware limitations
I
mean
will
that
say,
I can't get them.
go back into the recording, find the start, and then come back. That's your only chance of replay for us right now.
Unfortunately,
You don't have.
yes. Unfortunately, yes.
You don't have the facilities to do that.
I don't
We
have
are
the
not
facilities for
getting
that big
paid.
man.
We are not getting paid. We need to say to Max to get paid something to get better computers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, very true. Let's look at the front of the pack, because that gap of 8 seconds has come down to 0. And it's all chopping and changing at the front of the pack. Max Newt 7's back up to the back of this battle after he came into the pits earlier on as well. He's only 2 seconds off this battle. And, well, these gaps just appear and disappear at the flick of a wrist, don't they? It's crazy.
Do you mean like Diego and Michel just spun? But it's first Michel spun into Fatahava one, I don't know, in the first of the second. Oh, that was a touch by Michel Rodriguez. That didn't seem very too clean between those two drivers. Of course, he's letting him by. He doesn't know that was that good. Into the Kleines
Max Newt 7 and
Grosso.
Henry Comsey come together.
Oh.
Oh, while we were looking at them, there has been a collision between the two Finnish drivers up at the front of the pack, and Alexander Gray has moved through on Max Newt 7, and he's now going to be catching Henry Comsey. And that's a little bit of chaos there for these drivers, eh?
Michel slipstreaming the heck out of Diego. These cars are amazing for the slipstreams. They are side by side coming into the final turn. Steer Garden.
Oh,
Diego!
Diogo.
Diego just had a really wild. I was just looking at Michel and I just saw Diego just flash a yellow fucking blue flash just flying through the screen.
Diogo
That's
took Sarah
terrifying.
there. Yeah, having a terrifying incident there. It's very fortunate this is sim racing, isn't it? After looking at that one, the speed that these cars are racing at. Nonetheless, the race goes on. No red flags here. And Henry Comsey's off the track. Henry Comsey rejoins the track. Oh, and he rejoins right alongside Alexander Gray. And Alexander Gray does move up on the Finnish driver, up into second position. But this is now coming to loggerheads, as these two are going to be side by side. Nose to tail going over the hills here, up the undulations of Nürburgring. And, Henry Comsey trying to find a way through, clips the back of Alexander Gray, sends him well into the wall there. Alexander Gray rejoins safely, bounces off the wall. Fortunately, still, as we've said, no damage. So the drivers carry on as though nothing's happened, although Henry Comsey back up into second position.
Well, Max Newt is the man that we know should be second, but isn't. So
At the end of the day, Max Newt 7 should be second. You're right, he's got the pace for being second. He's got the pace to catch up to these drivers, but every time he gets close, he seems to drop the ball. And there's the lesson to be learned from Max Newt 7, which is something that we don't see from him very often. We usually see calm, collected driving, but he's just been dropping the ball. But, I mean, to be fair, this car in this circuit, who can blame him?
True.
The timer has ticked down to 0, which means that the drivers are going to come around and start their final lap next time round. Where's Ryan Skywalker? Now starting his final lap. Yep.
The Hatzenbach-Bogen. If my teacher heard me, she would kill me. Hatzenbach. God, these names.
I would be struggling. I learned Spanish at school. Ryan Skywalker is on the final lap of the race, and he puts all the drivers onto the final lap of the race. And of course, when Ryan Skywalker does finish, every driver has 2 minutes to cross the line. So some of these drivers might not even finish their final lap, which should still mean they're qualified. Michelle Rodriguez
maybe had a little spin, seems like.
Well, Michelle Rodriguez
didn't flop, so.
Michelle Rodriguez didn't practice enough this week, so if he does spin, that's what it's down to, and he's going to learn his lesson someday and start to practice more in the week, as everyone else can do on the Track Titan Hot Lap Challenges, which are the same as the Track Titan races. Oh, Diogo Teixeira's in the wall. He now drops down to 9th position, and it seems like Michelle Rodriguez and Diogo are just taking turns going into the wall as Michelle Rodriguez goes into the wall to change positions. These two don't want to overtake each other. They just want to watch each other in the wall, don't they?
They want to watch the world burn.
They really do want to watch the world burn. Hopefully, the drivers up at the front of the pack don't catch up to them before the end of the race and they become backmarkers, because backmarkers on this circuit, oof, that would be chaos.
That would be funny.
Unfortunately, I think that Ryan Skywalker is a bit far adrift to be catching up to them to lap at them this time round, and Michelle Rodriguez takes another trip to Grass Central.
This thing gets much better grass than my lawnmower. Didn't know Mercedes were making lawnmowers.
Yep, this car has more horsepower than most lawnmowers, I would say. Ryan Skywalker, here he is on your screens. On his lonesome, 10 seconds clear of Henry Comsey now. He's trying to put the most amount of rubber down on the track and leave no time on the board. And he's lapping at a fairly consistent rate here on the final lap of the race.
You
Getting a
say
little bit of oversteer there
Max.
as he comes
Max
up towards
crashes.
the carousel. Max crashes. Max suit 7. The
In
championship.
the same section as Michelle. The same turn as Michelle. That's where he crashes.
Well, the corner claims yet another victim. This
Michelle
time,
again.
Max suit 7. Sometime later, sometime in about 2 minutes' time, it will be Michelle again, no doubt about it. Diogo Teixeira is currently coming onto the final straight. Michelle Rodriguez is a little way behind him in the final part of the circuit, and he's definitely not going to finish his final lap because Ryan Skywalker is fast approaching even Michelle to lap him.
I think Diego will just stand on the grass and wait for Ryan to pass to get his lap, so his lap counts. Just waits for Ryan. But no, he crashes into the pit wall. Because that's what pros do. Welcome to Track Titan.
Diogo Teixeira, yes, is just sat in the pit wall right now. I think he's, well, I mean, to be fair, I'd say he's struggling. Again, I need to refer back to the fact that we are racing the Red Bull X2010s at Nordschleife. Oh, here we go. Ryan Skywalker, fast approaching Michelle Rodriguez. I said it wouldn't happen, but it will. Ryan Skywalker getting in the slipstream, moving past on Michelle Rodriguez very cleanly, and Michelle, I think, has probably done that as a tactical decision to make sure that his lap is counted and he's able to finish this race only a lap down. And correct me if I'm wrong, Switzerland, if he finishes a lap down, that means he starts from the back, correct?
No, it just matters if he finishes the race, so this might be actually a better tactic,
that
so
might
he
be
can
a better
start
tactic,
more.
Because Michelle Rodriguez there has finished the race. Just behind Ryan Skywalker.
Didn't.
Oh, he didn't. Oh, very interesting. So that was not counted as a race finish. So Michelle Rodriguez is going to have to go for another lap that he's not going to complete. Ryan Skywalker wins the first race. Henry Comsey finishes in second position. A heroic effort from Henry there. Alexander Gray comes over to tell him what's for as he finishes in third position. Max 7 coming around the final part of the circuit now in the Jaguar livery. Comes through the final few sections, the final few corners here. He's struggled all race long, but he does manage to limp himself home into a valiant fourth, and that's going to be a decent amount of points for his championship contention, as of course he does lead the championship standings coming into this race.
I would love
So 4 points is better
Whale
than
to
none.
know Diego and Michelle are fellows son and daughter.
Yes, yeah, they are Vettel's son and daughter.
Second question. I joined late. Where in the world are we, and what formula of racing car is this?
Yeah, great question from Julian Van Ziel there. This is the most craziest race you will see on the Track Titan channel. This is the Red Bull X2010. That's a prototype. I believe it's a prototype concept car, right?
Yes, but you forgot Miatas on Highland Short.
Well, that was crazy, but I mean, not as crazy in the concept of it. Dennis Bosman crosses the line. Yeah, anyway, as I was saying, Red Bull X2010s, it's a prototype concept car developed by Red Bull and Adrian Newey. And, well, you can find it in the GT Sport game, but it's also, of course, a successful mod for Assetto Corsa. And we, in the Track Titan community, in their ultimate wisdom, decided to vote to race it at the Nordschleife. Historic green hell, as it's very well known. Probably the least suited track for this car. But, well, the community wants what the community wants, and democracy says that we're racing here, and we have done. And, well, that was the first race over. And there wasn't a lot to talk about in that one. There was a few incidents, but it seemed like most of the overtakes happened with drivers off the track. But, nonetheless, we'll see how this one goes, because, of course, this is a reverse grid, which means that drivers like Ryan Skywalker, Max Newt 7, Henry Comsey, Alexander Gray are all starting from towards the back of the grid. So if there's a lot of chaos into turn 1, we could be seeing a lot of chaos into turn 10 even. This track has a tendency to drag out the chaos longer than it needs to be. We got
a great question. Great things. Miatas are a lot faster than this car.
Miatas, I'd tell you what, if Spitzland was driving a Miata, it would probably be faster. But that's only because you would somehow find a way to get it to go into the air at like rocket speed after crashing into someone.
I can confirm that. We should do, for fun, let's do a fundraiser, I don't know, for charity, 24 hours of Nordschleife in the fucking Miata.
Right.
For fun.
Apologies for the language.
Yeah, I'm sorry. A little bit.
That would be...
the adrenaline.
That would be very... I mean, I would say that would be interesting. I actually reckon it would be like a track day. If you want to see that, just go to the tourism part. You probably see the same things.
Sometime.
Someday. I want to take a car there. I mean, how long have we got left until the race starts? 15 seconds. We can go through plenty of tourist and fart and chaos once the race starts, but we'll quickly have a chat about the race start as the race gets underway. The second race of the day, reverse grid, 6 red lights go on. The 6 red lights go out and away we go, and Smells Like We gets a decent start, but he gets a lot of oversteer, and that's Max 7 already up the inside and into first place. Smells Like We hung out to dry on the outside and drops all the way down into even 6th position now. Henry Comsey also through with Max 7, 2 Finns flying through into the lead of this race. Alexander Gray up into 3rd. Dennis Bosman holds on to 4th position for now, starting from 2nd, only drops on to 4th this time round. Smells Like We in 7th. Keith Holt in 8th. Ryan Skywalker did not get a decent start there. He only got up to 9th position, which is from the back of the pack, all things considered, but that's not a decent start, and definitely not the start that Ryan Skywalker would have wanted coming into this race, especially given he won the last one. Michelle Rodriguez is in 8th position behind Ryan Skywalker, and speaking of the South African driver, here he comes on Keith Holt, making a move, and he's through on Keith Holt for 6th position. Up at the front of the pack, Max 7 and Henry Comsey still quite close, still underneath a second between these two drivers, and I can't really make too much big of a deal about a second because, well, 2 seconds could be an overtaking opportunity in these cars, but nonetheless, here they go through the quite tight little chicane we got there at the top of the circuit. And Max 7 is leading this race still from Henry Comsey, from Alexander Gray, Dennis Bosman, Smells Like We, getting attacked by Ryan Skywalker for 5th position. Ryan Skywalker, definitely one of the fastest drivers on track today. He's trying to get a little bit of overspeed on Smells Like We. Oh, and they collide! They very much collide. Smells Like We is sideways in the wall. He's doing a kickflip 180, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and he rejoins the circuit from the pits as he retires to the pits and rejoins half a lap down. So Ryan Skywalker up into 5th position under the most dubious of circumstances. However, I'm sure that given the chaos that this race has brought, the marshals are going to be taking a much more lenient view on penalties this week, aren't they?
No penalties. It's too much work.
That's true. I think everyone would be working all the way into the night for free, mind, as well. So
Yeah, so no. I'll pass. Like every time. I do not watch the replays. I'm not a good marshal.
At the front of the pack, the battle still rages for first position. Maxi 7 Henry Comsey, but fortunately they're both just circulating in the exact way that they need to be as they come around the carousel. Valley, I want commentary of the race in the Nürburgring with the slowest car. Well, I found a mod for Assetto Corsa that has the Fiat Panda. The original Fiat Panda. So, one lap race someday, maybe? Dennis Bosman has dropped down behind Keith Holt into the carousel. Not sure what's happened to him there. He's lighting up the tyres as he accelerates out the corner, and he's closely tailed by Michelle Rodriguez, who has once again decided that he'd rather cut grass than race cars.
Again, for the 1000th time.
This is what happens when you don't practice, Michelle. He'll get the message eventually. I can't believe...
He will not.
He won't. I can't believe it, but up at the front of the pack...
He doesn't learn.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Up at the front of the pack, it's still Finn by Finn. Max 7 leading Henry Comsey, and the gap hasn't gone above a second. But neither of them have overtaken the other. This is amazing racing from these two. They clearly have practiced. They know the track, they know the car. And all they need to do is circulate as they need. Team orders potentially come into play. Well, they won't come into play for Henry. Unless Henry gets in front. We'll see. We'll see how that develops. Behind them, 6 seconds behind them. Good to see you in the chat, Valley. Thank you for commenting and staying with us. Behind them, 6 seconds behind them, Alexander Gray is currently circulating down the straight, but he's getting well and truly tailed by Ryan Skywalker. Down the long straight they go into the final sector of the circuit. Through the tight final few corners. It's a left, it's a right, it's a left, and it's a very tight right again. Onto the start, finish straight over the finish line. And Ryan Skywalker is lining up a move. He's going to try and make the move into the next long straight unless Alexander Gray bins it into a wall, which is a very real possibility. Going through. Oh, there's a bit of change for the lead. Oh, and Henry Comsey and Maxi 7 have come together. And they rejoin the circuit. Oh, and they rejoin behind Ryan Skywalker and Alexander Gray. Alexander Gray moves up into the lead of the race. Them two drivers, Henry Comsey and Max Nuke, managed to get out of the way just about. But Alexander Gray and Ryan Skywalker sped past them, and now it's a three-way battle for the lead. Do you see what happened with them, Switzerland?
No, I just saw the red markers on my leaderboard. I'm like, someone has collided.
There is some chaos.
And then I hear you.
The red markers are the sign of chaos.
Yeah, they are.
Alexander Gray, though, is leading the race now after inheriting it from Max 7. But for how long? Because here comes Ryan Skywalker. Looks left, he looks right, he looks left again. He's trying to find a way past Alexander Gray, but Alexander Gray is driving the white score! And they touch, and Ryan Skywalker goes white into the wall, spins around, hits the Armco, bounces off, rejoins, gets back up to full racing speed, and now he's only a hair ahead of Max 7. Henry Comsey now is the one to chase Alexander Gray, and we'll see if he can get by without too much faff, if he can get by without going into the wall himself. Was that on Ryan or Alexander, in your opinion, Switzerland?
It was Ryan's fault. Maybe a racing incident.
Well,
it seemed like a racing incident.
It's been declared. That's the law now. I'm joking. All these incidents get looked at by the marshal after the race.
Henry Armco as well.
That was a bad incident for Henry, wasn't it? Yeah, I think he bounced off the left side Armco and then right into the right side. He rejoins the circuit in a much quicker way than Ryan Skywalker did, but that does drop him down well behind Alexander Gray, and now he's 2 seconds behind the Swedish meatball in first. Max 7 is right up behind Ryan Skywalker, as is Michelle Rodriguez and Dennis Bosman. Looks like Max has got the bit between his teeth, though, for now, as he manages to make his way past Ryan Skywalker. It looks as though Ryan had a little bit of an off there, because he was in the wall when I clicked back the camera on him, and Max 7 was moving by him with ease. Did you see what happened there, Spitslam?
No, I didn't see anything.
No problem. Well, this is the battle on track, and there is another battle up ahead of them because Henry Comsey is... Oh, is that Maxi 7 in the wall? It is Maxi 7 in the wall. Just as I cut away, I saw him getting a bit of oversteer, and Ryan Skywalker is through. At the front of the pack, there's a battle going on between Henry and Alex. That's now underneath a second. And where are we on the circuit? I'm lost.
The Stefanesses.
The Stefanesses. Yes, that's where we are. I figured it out now. The Kleiner Carousel. Here we go. Alexander Gray powering away from the corner. Henry Comsey trying to find a way through. Alexander Gray getting all over the grass on the exit of the corner there. Henry Comsey slipstreaming down the straight. Ryan Skywalker comes into shot. He's not far behind, but even closer to Alexander Gray is Henry Comsey, and he's through up into first position. Henry Comsey, but now they're side by side. Alexander Gray and Henry Comsey going down the long straight here at Nürburgring, taking the left-hander down the hill into the final few section of corners. But Henry Comsey is up into first position and coming around the final corner now to finish the halfway point of this race. Henry Comsey is in first. Behind them, Alexander Gray, Ryan Skywalker is still outrunning Max Newt 7. But we saw this battle crimp up. We saw this battle spread apart. This battle seems to be one that rages a test of time. But Ryan Skywalker is going to need to finish ahead of Max Newt 7, if he wants to keep his championship title fight alive. He closed up the gap to the head of the championship last time round, and he's set to do the same today. If he can keep it this way, it'll be 2 4th-place finishes for Max and a 1st place and a 3rd place for Ryan. But that could also be set to change as we see Ryan catching slowly up to Alexander Gray. He's got the gap down now to just over a second. And Alexander Gray is just trying to hit his braking points, just trying to hit his turning points. But the South African, as ever, looms in his mirrors. Is this overtake on? Slam?
It might be. If Ryan keeps it together and Alexander doesn't crack under the pressure as we saw at this first race when Henry was behind him, but he cried under pressure. That's Alex into the wall quite violently.
Quite violently there. Alexander Gray drops down into 3rd position and now is within the clutches of Max Newt 7. And Alexander Gray is throwing it all away. That rhymes because it's true. He was in the lead of the race a minute ago, and now he's threatening to drop back into 4th. What were you going to say there, Spitslam?
He's just cracking under pressure. Maybe he knows the track. He knows the track very well, but that doesn't mean he has the brain. I don't want to say the brains. He doesn't have the energy to fight these guys, and that's Max Newt, a very clean overtake on Alexander Gray. That's how the slipstream is fast.
That was a beautiful overtake. Picture perfect. Oh! Alexander Gray violently into the wall there. Oh, he rejoins, but that was a bad incident for Alexander Gray there. The force feedback on his wheel must have been going absolutely insane there. Well, that does mean that your top 3 now are Henry Comsey, Ryan Skywalker, and Max Newt 7, and that is the top 3 in the championship. However, not in the order you'd expect. It's actually in reverse order. The top 3 is actually the reverse order of the championship as we stand right now.
Oh, so Ryan is still in the same place.
He
just
is
like
in the championship right now.
Last season.
However, he closed up the gap to the head of the field a little bit last week, as I said. So we'll see how he comes out after this race is done and Keith produces the official standings.
And we should have the Season 2 awards, because Michelle still didn't think.
Coming soon, TM. The Season 2 awards will come when Half-Life 3 gets released. Ryan Skywalker will overtake in the next lap. That's my 2 predictions for the night. He's powering around the circuit right now, trying to find a way to close up to Henry Comsey, and this is potentially his best overtaking opportunity. as he slipstreams down the long straight, but he also has to look in his mirrors because who's there? It's Max Newt7, his championship rival. And Max has got the bit between his teeth to try and gain as much as he possibly can. Meanwhile, Henry doesn't gain a ridiculous amount on Henry Comsey. Sorry, Ryan doesn't gain a ridiculous amount on Henry Comsey down the straight. And that's Henry wheel spinning out of the final corner. Ryan Skywalker running wide, getting all over the grass in the final corner, but he doesn't lose too much time and pumps in his fastest lap of the race, 3:52.520. That's a decent lap from Ryan Skywalker, but Max Newt7 behind him puts in a lap that is only 4/10 slower. So these three drivers at the head of the pack are driving the wheels off these cars, and likely the brains out their heads.
Just see the green in front, see a turn, a brake, turn. That's what their brain is in right now.
It's so easy to get lost at this circuit because it feels like every corner looks the same.
Oh, when I did the 24 Le Mans, my brain it just sort of zoned out. So in the same time, I was just racing. I just from memory, I just like did the turn and I was just singing with it. just vibing at the point when this happens. We just hit the zone.
I feel like Nürburgring 24 drivers in real life should have music players in the car.
True.
I would get behind this. The race engineers trying to call them into the pits and they're just jamming along to the song. FIA, get my number, call me, I've got some more ideas.
Keith in the wall.
Keith in the wall, Dougal Texera disconnecting. Oh, Ryan Skywalker in the wall, as is Henry Comsey. They both took an off at the same corner there, so neither of them lost much time to each other, but Max Newt7 didn't really gain much, so potentially he went to the wall behind them. Oh, Max Newt7 definitely goes to the wall there. He gets a bit of oversteer, goes backwards, bounces backwards out the wall, and now Alexander Gray is going to be right behind him as he rejoins the racing. Up at the front of the pack, though, the gap has closed down once again. Ryan Skywalker is very close to Henry Comsey. With 1 minute 10 remaining, is this going to be the penultimate lap for these drivers? Almost definitely. Almost definitely.
Yeah,
1 minute remaining.
There's no way they are lapping it this fast. It's just 1 second and they just put another lap in.
Hopefully
that would be...
Don't think I've got enough gall in me to keep going for that long. However, Henry Comsey there, I'm not sure if he clocked that, but Henry Comsey did go into the wall. Oh, and he gets a bit of oversteer out the carousel. He doesn't drop down a position yet, though, but Ryan Skywalker is right there. Underneath his exhaust smell. Oh,
that's Ryan
Skywalker with a big bit of oversteer. He got on the curb and went right around, did a beautiful pirouette.
Alex in a wall as well.
This Alexander Gray. He is indeed.
Yeah. Before the carousel. And again, it spins. That's the rear tires coming in. The rear is heating up.
It is indeed. So Ryan Skywalker throwing away an easy potential win there by spinning. However, he didn't lose that much time, to be fair. It seems like to catch each other in these cars isn't the hardest thing at all, but to overtake is a different beast entirely.
Oh, when you are on a straight, I don't care. Are you 3 seconds away, you still get slipstream. And that's Ryan in the grass. Just get some grass.
Yeah, he's not going to be helping his lap times at all. He's all over the grass on the left and the right of the circuit. Are his tyres falling off?
I didn't know Red Bull made lawnmowers. That's good to know.
Looking backwards from Henry Comsey here. You can see the distance between the two drivers. Henry Comsey is going to be happy to see that in his wing mirrors. The timer has ticked down to 0, which means that this is the penultimate lap for these drivers. They'll come across the line and start their final lap. And it all certainly does come down to this. The battle for the lead, because Rachel Rodriguez has taken a trip into the wall. Keith Holt has taken a trip into the wall. They're too far off the pack to catch up to anyone else right now. And so it's a three-way battle for the lead. You got Henry Comsey here on your screens in the lead of the race. Then a second and a half back from him, it's Ryan Skywalker. The chasing South African, as ever, looking for a way to get through on Henry Comsey, looking for a way to catch up to him. Well, he's already done the catching. Now he's just got to find a way through. However, if either of these two, if they come together, if they cause some chaos for each other, if they both end up in a wall, who's going to be there to mop up the scraps? It's Max X7. He's only 5 seconds away from them.
And maybe even Alex, if he right now puts his foot on the gas and maybe can do something, even he can rattle up those two if they have a large crash.
If they have a big incident, there's certainly potential that Alexander Gray could catch up to them, especially in this car where gaps are meaningless. Nothing
It's
is
good,
really...
we have ambulances around the circuit, it's fine.
Exactly, the marshals will clear them up. They're flying body parts. Ryan Skywalker.
Oh god,
powering
it's not
up.
me.
He's powering up to the top of the circuit, up towards Callenhard corner. Round they go. The gap now underneath 0.2 of a second. Ryan just looking for a way through without colliding with Henry Comsey. That's the main thing. He needs to try and find a way through that doesn't put him into a wall. And that's about the hardest thing possible at this circuit. So the best thing right now he can do is just tail Henry Comsey. Get underneath his skin, get into his mind, and make Henry Comsey make the mistake. And then he can move through without too much of a problem at all. If not,
right now,
next overtaking opportunity, maybe into the carousel.
The cars look like the skeletic cars, like the track that you have the 2 rows. Like, looks like if they were just racing on a line that is already there on the circuit.
They really do. It's awesome to see these two drivers both know where the circuit's gonna go. Both have got the bit between the teeth. Oh,
but
and there's rubber
Henry's on
banding.
the grass.
Oh, and Ryan Skywalker's on the grass, and there's a big amount of rubber banding going on between these drivers here. I think a little bit of internet lag might have played a part there, but they're still coming together. They're still driving together. Through the carousel they go. Still line astern. Henry Comsey once again with a bit of oversteer out the carousel. I wonder what that's all about. But if he can continue to drive the widest Red Bull X2010 possible, Ryan Skywalker is not going to be able to find a way past. But you can see the desperation sinking in for Ryan Skywalker now. You know what Ryan's like. You know that he's determined to take this first position. He wants the double wins this evening.
He has a great chance at the final straight because it's literally in Autobahn. It's big, it's fast, it's straight, it's the Autobahn.
He certainly does have a big chance. And if he can keep it together, not by doing that, fortunately for Ryan, he didn't drop down too far.
He got more speed, he went straight.
Track cut penalties potentially going to come into play. Alex Heller got kicked earlier for track cut penalties. So we'll see if Ryan becomes a victim of one of them shortly. He's only got half a lap to hold on for. Not even half a lap. This is the last few kilometers of the circuit. Henry Comsey's in the wall. That's lost him a little bit of time. And they're going to come onto the final straight. Oh, and they've come together. They've come together once again, and they've come together once again. That's 2 times they've come together, and now they're side by side going down the final straight, and it's all come to this. Oh, they're going... Ryan Skywalker trying to find some slipstream. He moves out to the right. He moves to the left. Oh, and they've come together, and they keep bumping into each other. These two drivers need to learn to race cleanly. Henry Comsey driving once again the widest Red Bull X2010. We'll see who's got the goal. Ryan Skywalker goes on the inside, and he bins Henry Comsey into the wall. That was a disgraceful maneuver from Ryan Skywalker. Puts Henry Comsey into the wall. Finishes the race in first position, but that is surely not going to stand. Henry Comsey finishes in second position. Max Newt 7 finishes in third. And then we have to wait 37 seconds for the next driver along, Alexander Gray. And I tell you what, you must laugh because that was some maneuver, wasn't it? There's no description really. That was the most bandit maneuver I think we've potentially ever seen on a Track Titan race. That is a certain high contender for Bandit of the Year award for Ryan Skywalker there. As he finishes the race in first. For how long we'll see. Alexander Gray finishes in fourth position. Dennis Bosman comes around not too far behind in fifth, and then the rest of the drivers likely will not finish this race as Michelle Rodriguez takes a trip to do some backwards grass cutting this time. That makes a change from his normal forwards grass cutting that he's been doing all race. Well, what a race.
I guess I finally got my breath. What was that? Ryan will come here. That's unacceptable. Just bring Ryan and Henry because it's the 2 race winners.
Well, Ryan is technically the first race winner, so we'll steal him. Mr. Ryan Skywalker in the commentary box with us, mate. Let's start with the first race for you. Not a bad qualifying session, starting on pole. Led out the first corner, had some decent battles with Max 27, but ended up winning fairly comfortably, didn't you?
You caught me off guard there, man. I was in a heated debate with Henry over there. He just pulled me out.
Unfortunately,
I want to know.
it needs to happen. It needs to happen. I'm going to get Henry in a minute. I'm going to get Henry in a minute.
I don't know what it looked like from your
Last
side.
turn.
No, I wanted to prove him a point because we hit each other so many times on that straight. I thought,
Yes, I saw that.
If he wants destruction derby, I can give him destruction derby. And
Well, I'll tell you
I went past. I did let
Let's
him
have
win,
some-
just to be fair. But I mean,
Let's have some chaos.
I want
We
the-
can't
I
talk
want
about
the-
him without him defending himself. Let's try
I
Henry.
want the
Henry,
quote.
Henry, we've
The
stole Henry.
famous thing. Can I quote it? He
you
wants to
can
play
quote a famous
bumper
thing.
cars or something.
So, Henry, from your side, that last corner incident, what do you make of that one?
Do I need to even say?
I don't laugh. I want to know what
I think
happened.
even blind man can see that. It's
We
pretty
want to know what
obvious.
happened.
obvious.
even a blind man can go straight on a straight without crashing into each other.
Yeah,
But that was hard.
but you got mad for me that in your screen I was going all over the place because your ping is like all over the place or lag or
It's not
something.
mad,
Because
it's
in
not
my screen there was like no contact before the straight.
Maybe if you update your PC,
So
then
don't
your
get-
screen rate will be better and you
Hey,
can see
hey,
the contact.
hey! don't crash purposely other people out.
Well,
Dude, I was the gentleman and I let you win. Okay, so
The-
if I didn't do that, it would have been a different story.
I just cruised on the last 2 laps.
the
I
race,
didn't even try. I didn't drive. So shut up.
the race is done. And I
That's
think-
not.
I think Henry won the second race in the end. Or
Yeah.
at least,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Ryan
Because
stopped.
I let him win.
The
well,
crash of the
I think,
season.
I think the marshals might have stood in place, Ryan. But we'll see how that one goes. But I thought
I
I'd
did
drag you
let him
both
win.
in the first. Well, yeah, but
Yeah, let's see next race when I crash you out.
no,
Okay,
let's
see.
not.
Just
Let's not
wait for it.
continue.
Just wait for it.
It's on, it's on.
Yeah,
next
it's
race.
on. It's on.
Henry,
on.
next race will be penalized. This race there are no penalties. We will let you the second race as your win, but next race, if you crash him out, you are getting a penalty.
Yeah, but if it's his like fault,
I don't want to
the
hear
crashing
anything.
out.
I will turn
So-
it to Michael Massey. That's a warning.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm living for
But
this.
that-
I'm
that-
absolutely living for it. I don't know what
that was mean and not gentleman racing. That was mean.
I want to
If
see you.
it
pay
wasn't
someone.
gentleman racing, I wouldn't have let you win.
I want to see you pay someone to crash him out.
Ah,
If you do that, I will let it. I will let it by. Like I do not see it.
yeah.
I
Like
don't
Red Bull
know.
trade Latifi.
I don't know what the next track car combination is going to be, but if
I
you
don't
two
know.
want to carry this
They're
on
not
to
yet
that,
out.
if
I
you
think
two-
it's Caterham or something.
it could.
might
It's,
be.
well, the choices are Caterham at Virginia, Lotus 311 at Brands, or Radical at Riverside.
And
I hope
Ryan,
for Radical. I hope for
I
Radical.
would have taken the pole on qualifying if I have better PC. There was lag and I went wide.
I don't want excuses, I want results, Henry.
Try with this PC and you won't be
Get a
near.
job, Henry. Get a job.
I have a job. I will buy PC and then you will see. You will see that.
Yeah, great.
I promise. I promise.
You sound
You,
like
you
a
will
villain.
see that.
Yeah, you sound like a villain. Like you'll all see.
Yeah,
Season
I'm-
4,
I'm-
the return of Henry Comsey.
I'm so mad because this piece of shit PC won't let me show my talent. I'm so angry for this.
Right. When Henry
That's
updates
gonna
his
be, that's gonna
PC,
be
we'll
a
see the
quote for the
true.
end of the year.
We'll see that's staying around. We'll see the true Henry Comsey get released.
Adam.
Then.
Yeah.
When Henry will get a new PC, AC2 will be out.
Yep. That's true.
Yeah.
That's when the season 2 awards night will happen when AC2 gets released. No. Right. Anyway,
No.
we best conclude this here. I'm sure you boys will continue in general, but we'll see Henry and Ryan, I'm sure, next week or another time very soon. See you later, boys.
Yeah. Bye.
Cheers.
Yeah, guys, bye.
Chaos. Chaos in the chat. Ryan and Henry coming together at the end. It's great to see them in the chat having a go. Very funny.
Oh, Ryan joined.
Yeah.
Oh, this will be fun.
Thank you to everyone that joined us tonight. Thank you to everyone that commented. And that about concludes the stream for tonight. That was a very funny end to the stream. So until next week, when we have the turn of some traditional races, Caterhams, Lotuses, or Radicals, we'll find out soon. Until next Tuesday, see you later, guys.
Bye.